Hello and welcome to More Money in Your Pocket. Basically, is 25 tax saving strategies. First of all, a disclaimer: the information provided here is for general information purposes only and does not constitute professional tax advice. Consult with a qualified tax professional before making any tax related decisions. We're not responsible for any errors or omissions or any actions taken based on this information. The information presented here represents the views and strategies of Raul Mendez of Valley Business Center. So let's dive right into the strategies. The first strategy, I want to talk to you about it, but first I want to show you an example. Roberto Mendez, what a great last name that guy has, right? He makes $130,000 self-employed net, and he has 3 kids and a stay-at-home wife. One of the first things that you have to know is when you work for a company, you share the cost of taxes with the employer. So the employer pays half of the taxes and the employee pays half of the taxes. You contribute 6.2% to Social Security and 1.45% to Medicare. That's your retirement and your your health insurance once you hit the age of 65. So the employer will also pay the same amount. So in this case, you pay 15.3, or actually in all cases where you're self-employed, you pay the SICA tax. SICA is basically the version of the FICA tax for a regular W-2 employee, but it's the same thing, 15.3%. So here we see Roberto Mendez, that he pays in self-employment tax, the 15.3, 19,890, and he pays in federal taxes 7,136. So he ends up paying 27,026 total in taxes. That is a lot of money that Roberto Mendez is paying in taxes. Together, his federal taxes with his self-employed taxes, he needs to pay 27,026. So the first thing I want to show you is the first strategy. One of the most common strategies is to form a company and to make yourself an employee of your own company. So why do you do this? The reason you do this is that your company will not pay the SICA tax because you're no longer self-employed. So on the left, we see the same example. A couple with 3 kids pays the self-employment tax, pays the federal income tax of 7,136. So they end up paying 27,026. On the right, we see the same example, but he pays himself different. He forms a company and then he becomes an employee of his own company. He will pay in W-2 income, it will pay himself 30,000, and the rest will be the money that the company makes, which is $100,000, but that will get passed through as passive income. Okay, so he'll still pay FICA taxes, which is kind of like the SICA tax, but only on the 30K. And he'll still pay federal taxes, but it will not be all the same taxes. So instead of paying the 27,000, he'll pay 11,726. He will save 15,300 just by restructuring the way he pays himself. So he has to form an S-Corporation. S-Corporation is the type of entity that you can have, make yourself an employee, pay the FICA tax, and have it made. So you can start your company as an S-Corp in order to have from this structure. But if you have started before as an LLC, you can have it converted into an S-Corp. A lot of people say, Raul, I already have this type of entity, and now I'm basically set at that. A lot of people have LLCs and they don't know that they can convert the LLCs into an S-Corp simply by filing some specific paperwork in a very specific fashion. For example, Form 2553, you can choose to have your LLC be treated as an S-Corp by the IRS and allow you to take this deduction. You can give yourself a reasonable salary and the rest will be passive income. So the first strategy that you do if you're paying a lot of taxes and you have an LLC is not to be treated as a contractor, not as a 1099 employee. You want to be an employee of your own company and you want to give yourself a salary. Okay? So that way, you can pay and save a lot of taxes, and it'll all be legal and it will be okay with the IRS. Okay, so first strategy, you paying a lot of taxes because you have a 1099, make yourself an S corporation, become an employee of your own company. I'll see you on the next strategy.